In this tutorial in Cyberlink PowerDirector, we're going to look at how you can use masks with effects. We're going to be working in PowerDirector 365 in this case. And so I have several clips on track number 1, and let's apply a mask and isolate the gal who's the subject of our video here. So to do that, I'm going to click on the effects room at the very top. And then I'm going to go to my video effects and we'll try some here and see how we can do. Let's go to the ones that are texture. And I'm going to go simply to the color painting and drag and drop it on my clip. Now when I do that, we see everything is painted. That's not exactly what I'm after. So I'm going to click on the green box, which takes me to the effect, and click on the color painting. Now what I'd like to do is isolate her from everybody else. The easiest way to do that is to create a mask. So I'm going to click on the select one object, and then we'll do a selection by clicking on the add to mask, and I simply click on the screen. And then if I don't want something, I'm going to click down here. That will turn it off. So all I want basically, see if I can get a little more here without getting the table. That's a little more precise. Okay, so that's my mask. Then I click on the blue track object box on the left side. When I do that, I will see a box that says tracking in progress. This may take some time. Now in this case, she doesn't move a lot, so this will be a little bit easier than some other raw footage I could be using. When it's done, I'll resume the video. When the tracking is done, it will start to play it, and it will highlight it in the reddish-orange color, and you'll get to see how effective it was for every single frame in the clip. You'll notice it's not exactly perfect with the right area over here, but it's going to be good enough, I think, for my effect. So that's what we have in this particular situation. So I'm going to say this is good enough for now. I'm going to click on OK. And now we find that she is colorized in a sense using this color painting, and everybody else is not. I want to invert it. Now you notice we have a mask here on the left side, and I'll invert the mask. And then when we play this, we're going to see that she stands out and everybody else is a little bit animated. That's not a bad effect. Now we can change the edge thickness. The default was 100, and we can decrease it. And we can change the color lightness. We can go up from 0 if we want to. But this is one way in which you can use a mask. Now one limitation we have is this applies when you apply a mask directly to the particular video that you're using. I'm going to try it a different way. So we're going to just close this out, and then I'm going to take that same mask, and when I drag down, I can use it on a track by itself. Now the advantage of using it outside is that I can control the beginning and end of the mask, or I can even use the same mask on multiple clips. Now we're on our second clip here, and we notice the colorize is being used. Now the disadvantage is when I'm using it this way and I try to edit it, I'll click on that, I cannot use that mask that I saw a moment ago. I can use a rectangular mask or a circular mask or no mask, which is my default, but I can't do the kind of tweaking I just did before. So that's the limitation. Now the easy thing is when you drag a mask to another track, if it doesn't have an effect track, it will automatically create it. So you don't have to worry about creating a track to hold the mask. But if you have it on top of the clip, then click on the eye, and then on the name of the feature, you do have the mask. Now I can turn it off for this clip, and I can actually disable it here, and now it's normal, but it's still saved. I still have my mask, I still have my effect, but I've turned the effect off. So I could apply another effect if I wanted to on a separate track. There's another thing I'd like to show you about masks that you can also do. Let's click on this series of clips. I'm going to try to do something with these that's slightly different from masking. So one I want to do is, let's take a different one. Let's go to Retro Old Movie, and we'll use an old movie option. And I'll click and I'll drag it on top of my clip. Then I'm going to click on the eye for the effect and click on Old Movie. Now you notice on this one, I've already done this a couple of times and it saved the mask. So whenever you have a clip on the timeline and you apply a mask, it will work. In this case, I went to this mask where I tried to mask the faces and separate the faces from everything else. And so when I play it with this mask applied, you notice the faces are Old Movie. Let's invert it and see how it looks. I'm going to try it here. And I'm using this so you can see the contrast real clearly. Watch what happens when she puts her hand up. That adds to the mask. And that's not what I wanted. And it also, on the last frames, completely misses her face. So one of the limitations I found out is if you're going to try to mask different people in the same element, that the masking is far from perfect so far. So this is not what I wanted. This kind of replaces her face. That was not useful. So I'm not basically going to use that mask. A mask like this one, where I just use the side of this gal's face, is much more consistent from frame to frame. Doesn't have a problem. But the other mask gave me some problems. So that's some limits with using those masks when you have more than one subject. Let me show you another interesting way you can use a mask in this option here. Now we're going to apply a mask, and we're going to use a different type in this case. We're going to go to the options that are nature, and I'm going to use snow. I'm going to click here. And if I don't do anything with it, we have snow coming down over every frame. I want to have the subject's faces a little clearer. So what I want to do is I'm going to click on the effect again, click on snow. And in this case, we're going to do some masking. Now this is what I found was interesting. When I try to mask, okay, let's try this way. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, I've got the pole, I've got these guys. Now, when I track object, we'll have to wait a moment and then I'll resume. It went through the same process I saw a few moments ago, but this impresses me. I did not mask their faces because they weren't in the first frame, but it was smart enough to realize that both their faces and their caps are supposed to be part of the mask. So that impressed me. I'll click on OK. I like the mask here. And then I'm going to invert it again. And now when you watch it, you're going to see that the snow seems to fall behind them and not in front of them. It doesn't cover them. Now, if I want to be a little bit more realistic, what I'm going to do, I'm going to increase the density of the snow and even increase the size of it just for contrast. And now we have a lot of snow coming down behind them, but that wouldn't be realistic, would it? We need snow in front of them, but not enough to obscure their faces because I want that to be the focus of the scene. So what I can do then is, now that I'm happy with that one, I'll close it out. I can go back to the same effect and I can drag it down on the track below, on the FX track alone. Now I can't mask it in the same way here. I'm going to click on it and we'll click on edit. We want to edit this. This time I'm going to do small size, increase the density. Now it will come over everything, but now I'll see a little bit of snow in front of them and a little bit of snow behind them. And if that's too much snow in front of them for the scene, all I need to do is click on it, click on edit again. Well, let's decrease the density a little bit. Just enough that it looks like there are some snowflakes in front of them as well as the ones behind them. And if I want to change this even more, I can add another layer. Let's take snow, we'll drag it down. We'll create a third one, and we'll go in the edit mode on that FX track. Let's take some wind and we'll make it go sideways. We'll keep our density down and our size down, and we'll play this. And now we're going to discover that we have different kinds of snow coming down behind and in front, and you could add as many layers of this as you wanted to make it look realistic. So that's a way in which you can use effects with masks both on top of the clip and in separate tracks in CyberLink PowerDirector.